Breaking now on the Mike Gallagher Show.
Well, Alan Dershowitz is not going to get his wish. It looks like they're throwing the book at Hunter Biden. He is being found guilty of all counts so far. He's guilty of possession of a gun by a prohibited person. He was convicted on all charges. Now the fun begins. Is Grandpa Joe going to pardon his son? Hunter Biden could be facing a pretty lengthy prison sentence and fines. Hunter Biden's been found guilty of making a false statement on an ATF form that was intended and likely to deceive the dealer. Guilty on count 1. He's been found guilty on count 2, making a false statement on an ATF form that would be kept in the dealer's records. And then finally, guilty, as I said, of count 3, the possession of a gun by a prohibited person. So, what does this mean? Again, my default is it doesn't matter to me because what I think counts is what the president knew about his son's nefarious business dealings. It doesn't matter to me what Hunter Biden's personal dealings are. But maybe you have a different take on it. Give me your reaction. If you're just joining us, Hunter Biden has been convicted on all charges. So I guess now Joe Biden can acknowledge that his son shares the same fate as his political rival. Only difference is he only wants to put one of the two in jail. 1-800-655-MIKE. Alan Dershowitz saying the best thing that could have happened to Donald Trump is for Hunter Biden to be acquitted. Jonathan Turley saying it's a slam dunk, but he also said that the Trump case was a slam dunk. Trump should have never been convicted of any of those charges in New York City. It was a misdemeanor that was expired due to the statute of limitations that Alvin Bragg manipulated into 34 counts, and Trump was convicted of all of those counts. But give me your reaction to this breaking news that Hunter Biden has been convicted on all charges. What does it mean for the race? Trump's going to bring it up in a couple of weeks in Atlanta. In fact, that might be the first thing he talks about on June 27th. We'll be in Atlanta, incidentally, for the debate, broadcasting from a venue just a couple of blocks from the venue itself. Sebastian Gorka, Hugh Hewitt, and I will be your hosts, your moderators, your anchors of the debate. Do you think this impacts the race in any way between Trump and Biden? Is this going to be how is Democrat world going to react to this bit of news? And give me your reaction right away, because this is what we love to do, breaking news and what to make of it all. And again, if you're just joining us, the breaking news is that Hunter Biden has been convicted of all counts. 800. And by the way, before I take Brandon here in Anderson, South Carolina on line 1, I want to play the cut from Greg Gutfeld that I believe sums it up perfectly. The Hunter Biden trial was a big distraction so that we would take our eye off the ball. The person that ought to be squarely in the middle of everything is Joe Biden, not his 53-year-old son. But as Greg Gutfeld said last night, that's the point. The point of the Hunter Biden trial, and now conviction, is for this giant distraction to occur. Here was Greg last night on Fox News.
The big picture here is Hunter is taking it for the team. This is his punishment, his amends for his misdeeds. The goal is to keep the heat off Joe, the influence peddling, the kickbacks to the big guy. It's a small sacrifice for Hunter to make, to take the fall, which is what you do in crime families where the misdeeds are far bigger and more lucrative. So what he's doing is he's deflecting it onto him, and Richard's right. So it's not Joe, it's Hunter. And that's the point, to keep it off Joe.
All right, here's a text message is blowing up. The MyPillow text line, which is 800-655-MIKE. Bobby from Georgia writes, Hunter Biden guilty on all charges. This is the best news I've heard in a long time. Maybe it's the beginning of this nation turning around. Arkansas, Biden won't have to pardon his son right away. They'll appeal. The media will praise Joe Biden for not pardoning. And then right after the election, when Trump wins, Joe Biden will pardon him before he leaves. And finally, Kentucky, it's all a diversion. If the Democrats are good at anything, They're good at being illusionists. Hunter Biden is just Joe's shiny object. I think that's what Brandon in Anderson, South Carolina thinks. Hey, Brandon, welcome. We're in your neck of the woods here in the WORD studios. How's it going?
It's going great, Mike. I really appreciate you guys taking my call. In regards to the Hunter Biden verdict, two things. One, I agree with Greg Gutfeld. It is a massive distraction. And two, he is guilty, but he's guilty of the wrong things. Why are we not focusing on his involvement with AstraZeneca and the biolabs in Ukraine?
See, that's what I've been saying all along. This is what I've been saying all along, and I tried to say that yesterday, and I got my head taken off from people saying, "Oh, you're being sympathetic because it's a crime that involves addiction and blah blah blah." I'm not. What matters is what. Brandon, do you think that there's a shred of a chance that Joe Biden didn't know about his close son's business dealings with AstraZeneca, with Burisma, with all of these business dealings? Joe Biden knew what his son was up to.
Well, of course he knew, and so did Barack Obama, so did Hillary Clinton, so did the entire Defense Department at that time under Barack Obama's watch. They all knew about it, but that's the thing. That's the domino that breaks everything.
I got you. Let's see what others have to say. 800-655-MIKE. John in Waynesville, North Carolina. John, what's your reaction to the news that Hunter Biden has been convicted of all charges?
Yes, absolutely, Mike. They needed to convict him. However, again, they're using this to absolutely say that they're trying to prove that there's some justice in the justice system, which there's not. And again, the bigger picture, Ukraine, there is so much, Mike, there's so much corruption going on with this whole war in Ukraine. It's a lot deeper than the American people even know.
I know.
And it really has everything to do with the puppet president they put up there through the assistance of Biden and our government.
All right, let's see what others think. John, glad you called. One open line. The Biden family members were in court today after the Hunter verdict. Hunter Biden stared straight ahead, showed little emotion as the verdict was read. Hunter Biden guilty on all counts in the gun trial. What's your reaction? Join us. All right, let's get your reaction. Time for your take on the Hunter Biden conviction. Hunter Biden convicted of all counts. Well, it looks like Dr. Jill's presence didn't intimidate those jurors after all. You know, she showed up for the jury selection. You know, she wanted to just show how much she loved her stepson. You don't want to read what the stepson said about his stepmother. Oh, boy. He called her a lot of unpleasant names. But, hey, they're a dysfunctional family. They got problems. He's a tortured, troubled soul. And now he faces what could be years in prison. Joe in Madison, Indiana, reacting to the Hunter Biden guilty verdict. Hey, Joe, welcome to South Carolina. You're up on the Mike Gallagher Show. How are you?
How are you, Mike? I just wanted to say what everybody else is saying. Everybody knows this is by design. He's the sacrificial lamb that had to fall on the sword to protect his dad. Everybody knows it.
To distract from all the crap that Joe Biden is up to his neck in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's the part of the crime family. We all know they're all criminal, and they've all been, bilking China for millions and millions of dollars. It's just ridiculous. But on November 5th, we're going to reelect our great President Trump.
Amen.
Because he had his rightful place stolen from him in 2020. Everybody knows it, except for, some of the nuts that, I know they have TDS to the nth degree, but, I'm not going to change their mind. They're not going to change my mind. But the good thing is the United States citizens, we get it. The normal United States citizens, I should say.
Yeah.
We get it. We understand. And we will reelect President Trump in November. And like you just said, that's exactly what's going to happen. He'll turn around. He'll lie about that like he lies about everything else. He will pardon his son. And, And que sera, that's whatever will be, will be.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Let's see what others have to say. I want to get a lot of voices in here. Your reaction to the Hunter Biden conviction of all counts. Jimmy in Northeast Pennsylvania. Hey, Jimmy, welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. How's it going?
Okay. How are you?
I'm great, sir. What's your reaction to the Hunter Biden guilty verdicts?
I was sort of surprised. I thought he'd be acquitted, and I hope this isn't a sin to say this. I was almost hoping he'd be acquitted to fire up the Trump base even more.
Well, that's what Alan Dershowitz said, Jimmy. That was exactly his takeaway, and he's probably right. People would have been real fired up, saying, "See, look at the two standards of justice." But nonetheless, it's a little shocking because I kind of had the same hunch you did. I figured that Wilmington, Delaware jury would do what the New York City jury did to Trump, only in reverse, protect one of their own. But now you wait and see. Watch the rush to the mainstream media tonight. See, there's no double standard. Hunter's been convicted.